Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Man la power go, man matters what you in your hands to create. Baru menjadi ini, mari agriculture, mana semua like a country. Well, in one way or the other, we can always support agriculture. I think municipalities are indebted, to contribute their quota in agricultural development because agriculture needs all hands on deck. Really. So municipality playing part in it is just a question of really um, respecting that you are really. Well, all areas, horticulture, the agriculture itself, the farming, they all need attention. All of them at this very material time because the industry is not being enticed to get the fresh blood, the young people to embrace it. Because if you can see the percentage of the farmers at this material time, the majority they are grown-ups, they're adults, probably old people, who cannot farm more than an acre or two. Compared to if agriculture was modernized or facelift, that would really entice the young people instead of embarking on the illegal pathway migration, suicidal journey. It would have been better for the to embrace agriculture because if both the fiscal sector, the horticultural sector, animal husbandry, all of them, they all need resuscitation, really. Well, if there are like storage facilities, because most of them, they struggle with storage to store their produce, and in most cases also we don't have processing plants whereby you can process some of the fruits or whatever that you need to preserve, for a long time. So really, processing plants are not available. Really, and storage facility also is another challenge for the agriculturists. Really, and that's across the country. So they need to step in and provide those key vital ingredients now or instruments that can help them, or help us, at least to be able to do year-round farming. I think this would really engage the schools. Is to start from the education sector, really. Um, the agricultural science should be really a mandatory subject that every student should be doing because people are learning, people are prioritizing other fields, and agriculture is usually an optional subject, which really is the key component that you need when you finish school, to survive. So really, that should have been a mandatory subject that anybody who goes to school in this country will learn about agriculture. At least you know one or two things about agriculture. That way, it can come in handy for whenever the need arise, or for whenever you have the opportunity of embarking on any agricultural field. Well, it has to start from the ministry first, prior before going to any municipality, really, because the local government they have their subsidiaries, but then I think the ministries, they have the budgets, to support agriculture. So it will start from the agricultural ministry, and filter down to the local government, and also some agencies that can just step in, like the likes of Giraffe and how to call it, IFAD. These are all organizations that they help a lot. They sponsor a lot of agricultural projects. And for you, somebody like you, who is really going out there, out of your way to interview the farmers and the ones that are interested in farming, particularly the ones at school, it's a very noble initiative. I don't think there is anybody who's doing something like that. And you are commended. I commend you for that. Because the sector really needs this kind of exposure, because they need to be listened to. They don't need to be directed as to what to do, because they know it better than even the ministry level. So they have to engage with them so that they can have a clue or an idea as to how to uh, modernize or intensify our productivity. In many ways, in tenfolds, really, because creating employment is just one, but feeding the nation is another. That's the most important. People need to survive, under any circumstances. If you have, even if you don't have nothing, you have to eat. You understand? So the fact that that is a prerequisite, and it's a priority. It's definitely a priority. One needs to embrace agriculture and get to the bottom of it. And this should be mandatory. The government needs to take a bold step, at least to have a vision as to what they envisage, how they want to see the country around the Gambians tackle agriculture in the next 4 or 5 years or 3 years. So at least you have a plan, a blueprint that you can work towards, and that the nation can work towards it. Everybody knows that this is our blueprint. We are working towards this, and it has a time limit. Now, once you have target, you'll be able to work towards your targets and try to achieve them. And that's important. That's key. Well, that's the way forward. Really, that's the way forward. That's the progression from enticing it, for people to embrace it. So that's the next level for us to be doing, like agro processing and packaging, because if we don't do that, we will not be able to determine our own price. We will not be controlling the price. But if you're just selling the raw materials are usually cheap. You can buy it cheaper. Say, for instance, you can buy a kilo of coffee, cocoa beans. Say, for instance, $100 for the kilo. Now, all the next person will do is just to go and roast it and package it. Now, 1 gram will be $5. So how many thousand grams it's in a kilo? You understand? So you can make 5,000 easily from 1 kilo. When you only spend $100. So you have 4,999 dollars that you made, really, for from just that 1 kilo. So really, the one that's processing it and packaging it is going to determine the price, because that is in the finished product, ready to for the consumers. So us as well, in order for the farmers to be able to realize, or to sustain agriculture, and also to sustain themselves financially, we have to package, and we have to process it and package it. That's a must. Well, sensitization would be key, especially what you're doing, using your area, your department, and somebody like you, or a company like you, to do sensitization. They need to be sensitized. Some of them, they have no clue as to what climate change is all about, really. Well, they can see the changing in the patterns, in the rain patterns, and the timing as well. You're noticing all those changes, but for one or two of them that are, maybe in the rural area, which is where normally the farming is at, they don't have a clue as to what climate change is. So they need to be sensitized. It needs to go in the local languages, not necessarily in English language, because well, the 99.9% of them are illiterates. So there's no point in dishing out to them in the official language. So at least it would be ideal for them to be sensitized in the various local languages that the Gambia is endowed with. Well, it has to start from the ministry. Really, the local government cannot do it in the absence of the ministry, because the ministry is the parent body. They are in control entirely. So if they've opened the chapter, probably the local government can step in some quarters, to render the helping hand in order to make it for the farmers to realize their objectives, and also for sustainability really purposes, because there is one thing to have a project or to start a project, but there's another to sustain it, to mean the period that you're going to sustain that very particular project. So in order to for the local government, to step in, the ministry have to bend the card. They have to be in the forefront. Well, whatever facet of the agriculture, or I may say branch of agriculture that is available should be engaged. Yes, because they have the know-how, and in most cases they have the financial muscle, to intervene, to support any kind of project. So yes, it's very key to have that collaboration or to network, with them to gather more ideas as to how to go about A, B, or C. It is very important, to network, and particularly to donor agencies, to the agencies that are really out there to support them financially. Well, they just have to be on the sidelines, looking at the ways and possibilities of investing into any particular area in agriculture, really. So it's just a question of uh, digging out, just do your findings and find out exactly where my money um, grow, where can I invest my money, and do a feasibility study that will lead you to which project or which department or areas would you like to sponsor, or spend your money to invest your money in. But they are key. They need to play an integral role in that, because everything is money, particularly agriculture. But the financial bit in agriculture is not um, too tedious than you want to invest in something else. It's not actually the local government, but the central government. The central government should prioritize it, because it's as far as Gambia is concerned, agriculture is the backbone of the country. So really, I don't see any reason why the ministry would lag behind and let the local government to take the lead into that direction, because of the fact that they have the ministry at the central government level. So really, they have to take the lead. Then the local government can step in their footsteps, in order to cover areas that probably maybe the central government would not be able to. So it's basically teamwork, but then the Ministry of Agriculture should be in the forefront with anything that is related to agriculture, whatever facet of it. Well, the little things out that I know about organic farming, it's really the mojo, because even in Europe and the diaspora in America, they are talking about organic. They're going organic because they are very they want to distance themselves with the GM, genetically modified food crops, and embrace the organic food. So that's what we have. We have the organic one, and they have the synthetic or the genetically modified. So if we don't take it serious, we will only rely on the genetically modified food crops, which is actually harming us at this very material time, because most of the food stuff that we consume locally here in Gambia is imported. So the importation, you don't know the process of the process they took, to cultivate that up to the harvest, up to be in the market there, right in front of the customer. But then, the organic ones that you grow by itself, exactly it was just the manure that you had, and the seedlings. The rain will fall, or you use your garden, your wells in the gardens, to water it. Then there it germinates. Then you harvest it. You have something that is very very organic, and that's really healthy, more healthy than this GMO, because GMOs are modified, and something that is modified and something that is organic have a difference, really, big time. It's just like you say, natural and artificial. Well, I'm not sure whether it's actually climate change or it is the administration, because people are combating climate change elsewhere. So it can be the pattern can be the same in the Gambia too. But then, if we there is no concentration of the ministry giving priority to enticing, or facelifting agriculture, we can always blame it on something, and blame it on the rain, or we blame it on the climate change, or blame it on fertilizer. We will always be blaming, pushing, shifting the blames. But then if we do our studies, if we do our job right, we will be able to tackle whatever this is. Because I mean, for a country like the Gambia, we have the River Gambia, and that's that went through right through the country. So you can have irrigation on either side, either the north or the south bank of the Gambia. So we should not have problem. There should not be any problem, really. But then we can always blame climate change for when we have our mishaps, just like maybe we are blaming COVID-19 for some of the mishaps that is going on wrong in the central government. So we always have to blame something. So climate change, yes, there is climate change, yes, but people are cultivating. They are doing how to call it, industrial agriculture. So elsewhere, so we can do the same. We just go with the weather. We definitely have to institutionalize farming. That's the only way forward. And once it is institutionalized, then it means that everybody is going to learn. It's like, English, how English and mathematics are compulsory. You have to. Even if you hate mathematics, you're going to do it. If you hate English, you're going to do it because it's the official language of this country. So now the official way of feeding ourselves is agriculture too. So that should be mandatory as well. We have to institutionalize it so that people will see agriculture as a way of making a living, not only to feed ourselves, but to make money out of it as well. Because we can move from this commercial to industrial agriculture, whereby we will be producing more than we can consume. Then we can deal with our our sub-region neighbors. We can export agricultural produce, which is a lot of money, tons of money. Then the Gambia can have foreign exchange coming in from agriculture at least, because that way that will help our dynasty, in the central bank. Because if there is enough reserve, foreign exchange reserve in the central bank, that will help our dynasty. Because we don't have oil or gold or diamond to peg our dynasty. We only can rely on the foreign currency, that is the pound or the dollar. The dollar is the trading money anyway, international recognized internationally. So if we have enough dollars in our central bank, then our money will be stable a little bit, and that too can push things forward. But really, it has to be compulsory. We have to institutionalize agriculture. Yes, that is the only way forward. Because that way, one can study agriculture from, the junior cadre, up to the secondary to tertiary. Then you will be equipped with the know-how of growing X, Y, or Z. And at the same time, preserving them, because you have a background knowledge of how to go about it. So it will not be like a guessing game, or somebody who is an enthusiast just want to go and do farming, but somebody who is knowledgeable in the particular area that we want to really deal with as far as agriculture is concerned. Because these are vital segments that we cannot live without. We cannot live without the horticulture. We cannot live without the aqua, the marine aqua life. We can't live without. You understand what I'm saying? The cash crops as well. So we need all of that, because actually the food industry is $30 trillion a day. I don't know why Africa is not benefiting from that, but It's supposed to be Africa supposed to be should be the bread basket of the world as far as agriculture is concerned, because we have the arable land, we have the sun as well, and we have fresh water. These are the powerful combinations that you need, to grow anything. So we need to institutionalize, we need to invest, we need to look inwards so that we can make our grass greener. We don't that will entice the young people to embrace agriculture, because they will not just see it as a hand to mouth thing. They will see it as a way of life, some a career that you can be an agricultural scientist, because that is the subject at school. So let's institutionalize agriculture and solve our problem. Because once it is institutionalized, it's here to stay. Now, I give you an example. We have hotel school. Yeah, yeah. That's why our tourism sector never runs out of hotel workers, because there is an institution, there is a school. So people go and learn about hospitality. So once you finish, you'll be attached to a hotel or a restaurant or whatever, to do your internship. Once they are satisfied with whatever, one or two whatever might employ you, for you to do a good job. So constantly, year in year out, the tourism industry they will never lack. The hospitality industry will never lack employees. And these are people who got the know-how because they went to school of tourism. So if agriculture also is institutionalized, it will be the same. We will have agriculturists, talk to agricultural scientists, so we can decide, improve, from where we are, because we are at the rock bottom, really, rock bottom. Well, just like I said earlier on, if both ministries, the agriculture and education ministry, need to sit down and put their heads together. There is nothing wrong with them collaborating. As a matter of fact, that is very welcome. In circumstances like this, they need to put their heads together. So they come up with a formula whereby they will be able to institutionalize it. And the key components that needs to be dished out to the students, that will be communicated. So from the agricultural ministry to the education. So the education will have a syllabus that will fit the need of the Gambia. We will tailor it to our need, not necessarily what anybody else is doing elsewhere. No, but what is suitable here in the Gambia. Because every soil, they have a receptor. A receptor. Sometimes there is an area that you cannot grow rice. Probably you can only grow groundnut or coos or millet or maize, but you can't grow rice. And there are certain areas that you can, it is only rice that you can grow. So the different areas, whatever the requirement the soil have, through our own investigations, we can invest in that, or grow that particular crop for that particular area. So, because I mean, if we don't know that, then we will run the risk of having a proper yield or a proper harvest, because you might be investing in areas that doesn't is not receptive to the particular crop that you wanna grow. So these are all important um, part that the expert needs to know, or needs to educate or sensitize the farmers with, so that they can have a clue as to what to do, what to grow where, at what time, because these are all timings. Different crops, mature different at different intervals. Some 3 months, some 1 month. It just really depends. Some day, 1 week, 2 weeks. You understand? You can harvest one or two few things. Depending on their time frame. And this, one have to be don't have to know, because it cannot be just a guessing game. You have to be clued up, and you can only do that when it is institutionalized. So we go and learn about agriculture. It should be compulsory, really. Agriculture should be compulsory. Every student should learn agriculture.